Have you noticed how tightly you've been holding on? The phone call you keep waiting for, the argument you replay each night, the constant checking to see if someone noticed you're hurting. This grip, this clinging to what others think, what they do, whether they stay or go, it's exhausting. And here's what makes it worse. The tighter you hold, the heavier everything becomes. The Buddha understood this 2,500 years ago. He taught that the root of suffering isn't life itself, but our desperate clinging to how we think life should be. He called this tanha, the craving that keeps us forever reaching, forever unsatisfied, forever trapped. And he offered a path out, not through controlling everything around us, but through learning the gentle art of letting go. This isn't about becoming cold or uncaring. What I'm inviting you to explore today is how to care deeply while holding lightly, how to love without clinging, how to engage fully with life without handing over your peace to circumstances you cannot control. Because what follows isn't another list of what you must do. It's an invitation to finally put down what was never yours to carry in the first place. 1. The weight of what you cannot control. There's a particular kind of tiredness that settles in after decades of trying to manage what won't be managed. I once knew a woman named Margaret, 73, who came to meditation group with clenched hands and shoulders near her ears. "I'm so tired of being responsible for everyone's feelings," she said. For 5 decades, she'd been the emotional manager for 3 generations. Her body was telling her what her mind had refused to accept. She couldn't do it anymore. The Buddha spoke often about dukkha, often translated as suffering, but better understood as the fundamental unsatisfactoriness that permeates life when we're constantly grasping. The second noble truth points directly to the cause: our relentless clinging to people, circumstances, and outcomes we cannot control. Think about the mental energy you spend each day trying to control what isn't yours to control. You rehearse conversations. You mentally rewrite others' behaviors. You construct elaborate plans, then suffer when reality follows its own path. The Buddha taught that this resistance to reality creates our deepest suffering. What you can control is remarkably small but infinitely powerful. Your response, your intentions, the quality of attention you bring to this moment, the meaning you assign to events, the boundaries you set. These are your domains of true agency. There's a Buddhist story of 2 monks crossing a river. The elder carried a young woman across, then set her down and continued walking. Hours later, the younger monk was still agitated. "How could you touch a woman?" The elder replied, "I put her down on the other side. Why are you still carrying her? What are you still carrying that you put down long ago? Because when you finally release what isn't yours to hold, your hands become free to receive what actually can be yours: peace, presence, and a life lived from the inside out. 2. When your peace depends on others' approval, there's a particular kind of captivity. Checking your phone every 15 minutes, replaying conversations, wondering if you said the right thing, feeling your whole day ruined because someone's tone shifted. This is what happens when you hand the keys to your well-being to other people. I once knew Patricia, 68, who'd spent her life as a people-pleaser. At her retirement party, person after person praised her selflessness. Afterward, she told me, "I don't know who I am when no one needs me." 7 decades of building her worth entirely on others' approval. The Buddha warned about this. When you base your peace on what others think, you become a puppet with many strings. You're constantly calculating. Will they like this? Will they think less of me? The Buddha taught that seeking validation outside yourself is like trying to satisfy thirst by drinking salt water. The more you drink, the thirstier you become. Here's what detachment from validation looks like. Praise becomes pleasant but not necessary. Criticism becomes information, not devastation. Silence becomes just silence, not rejection, not proof of unworthiness. And this shift requires becoming your own source of approval. The Buddha spoke of being a lamp unto yourself, finding the light of wisdom and worth within. There's a simple test. When you do something kind and no one notices, does it still feel worthwhile? When you set a boundary and face pushback, can you hold firm? If the answer is no, you're still giving others power over your inner state. And that power is optional. The next time you feel anxiety about how someone will react, pause. Name it. I'm seeking approval right now. Then ask, what if their reaction doesn't determine my worth? Over time, you become steady, rooted in something deeper than the shifting winds of others' opinions. 3. The illusion of control over others. At some point, a realization dawns. You cannot change another person. Not through love, not through pleading, not through perfect advice. And yet, knowing this intellectually is one thing. Living as if you truly believe it is something else entirely. The Buddha taught that one of the most insidious forms of attachment is to who we think others should be. We carry images in our minds, the daughter who should call more, the partner who should understand better. We cling to these visions so tightly that we cannot see the actual people standing before us. I knew a man named Edward who spent a decade trying to convince his adult son to pursue a stable career. Edward's health deteriorated under the weight of this battle. At 72, after a health scare, Edward finally asked, "What am I actually trying to control here?" The uncomfortable answer. He was trying to control his son's life because he couldn't control his own fear of being a failed father. When we try to change people, we're usually trying to manage our own discomfort. Buddhist practice asks us to turn toward what we're actually feeling beneath the compulsion to control: fear, shame, grief, helplessness. These feelings deserve attention, but they cannot be resolved by changing someone else. Here's a truth that's both difficult and liberating. Your healing begins the moment you stop trying to change people. Not when they finally transform, but when you accept them exactly as they are right now and choose to respond to reality rather than potential. I watched a man named Vincent work through this. For years, he'd been trying to get his son to be more responsible. Each disappointment felt like a personal failure. Finally, exhausted, he asked his teacher, "When will my son grow up?" The teacher replied gently, "Perhaps the better question is, when will you stop waiting for him to grow up so you can be at peace?" Vincent was quiet. Then he said, "You mean I can stop trying?" "You can stop suffering over trying," the teacher said. The Buddha taught that people are who they are because of countless causes and conditions. Your will is only one tiny factor among thousands. To believe you can single-handedly change someone is to misunderstand reality. It's to take on a burden that was never yours to carry. The Buddha spoke of metta, loving kindness, as a practice, but he was clear about its nature. True metta doesn't demand that others change to ease our suffering. It offers goodwill while allowing people their own path, their own timing, their own lessons. Thich Nhat Hanh taught that real love is spacious. It doesn't cling. It doesn't demand that the beloved conform to our vision. It holds people with an open hand, knowing that to truly love someone is to grant them freedom, even when that freedom leads them away from what we think is best. This doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop confusing care with control. You can offer guidance without attachment to whether it's followed. You can express concern without making someone else responsible for your peace. You can hold boundaries without needing the other person to agree with them. You can love deeply while releasing the outcome of that love. Ask yourself gently, who are you trying to change right now? What would shift if you accepted that person exactly as they are today, not as you wish they would become? What burden would fall away if you acknowledged that their growth, their happiness, their choices are ultimately theirs to navigate? This acceptance doesn't erase relationship or responsibility. It clarifies it, because when you stop trying to control others, you reclaim the energy to tend your own inner life with the attention it deserves. 4. Detachment from outcomes. Perhaps one of the most persistent sources of suffering after 60 is the story we tell ourselves about how things were supposed to turn out. The retirement that should have been more comfortable, the relationship that should have deepened, the recognition that should have come, the health that should have held up better. We carry these shoulds like stones in our pockets, growing heavier with each passing year. The Buddha taught that attachment to specific outcomes is a direct path to suffering because life is characterized by anicca impermanence. Everything changes. Nothing unfolds exactly as we planned. When we demand that reality match our preferences, we set ourselves up for constant disappointment. This isn't pessimism. It's simply accurate observation of how things work. I remember sitting with an elderly Buddhist practitioner named Helen at a temple in Vermont. She was 87, had practiced for 40 years, and radiated a kind of amused peace. When I asked her what had changed most through decades of practice, she said, "I stopped being so damn sure about how things should go." She told me about spending her 60s furious that her life hadn't turned out as planned. The marriage ended, the career plateaued, the children scattered. I was attached to a story, she said, and the story was killing me. The day I let go of that story, life got interesting again. Detachment from outcomes doesn't mean you stop having preferences or goals. The Buddha himself had goals, teaching the Dharma, establishing the Sangha, offering a path to liberation. But he held these aspirations with what Buddhists call upeksha, translated as equanimity. He worked toward them with full effort, while remaining fundamentally unshaken by whether things unfolded exactly as he envisioned. This balanced approach is what some call the middle way. You set intentions, you take wise action, you show up fully, but then you release your grip on the precise shape of results. You trust that you've done what you can, and you allow reality to complete the pattern in ways you couldn't have orchestrated. This isn't passivity, it's wisdom. It's understanding that your control extends to your effort and intention, not to outcomes. Think about a garden. You plant seeds, water them, tend the soil, but you don't control whether birds eat some seeds, whether rain comes at the right time, whether a late frost damages tender shoots. The wise gardener does what's theirs to do and accepts what nature decides. The anxious gardener checks constantly, worries obsessively, tries to micromanage every variable, and suffers more without improving results. Where in your life are you the anxious gardener? Where are you checking, controlling, demanding that things unfold according to your timeline and specifications? What would it feel like to do your part and then step back, trusting that what unfolds, even if different from what you planned, might have its own wisdom? The Buddhist teaching of karma is often misunderstood as fatalistic, but it's actually quite practical. Actions have consequences, but those consequences ripple out in complex ways we cannot fully predict or control. You can plant seeds of kindness, honesty, and wisdom. You can choose your actions carefully, but you cannot dictate the harvest. Someone might misinterpret your kindness. Your honesty might trigger someone else's defensiveness. Your wisdom might go unheeded. This isn't failure on your part. It's the natural complexity of cause and effect in a world where countless factors interact. So the practice becomes this: act with integrity and care, then release the outcome. Show up for the difficult conversation without needing it to resolve perfectly. Offer help without needing gratitude in return. Do your best work without demanding recognition. Love without requiring that love to be returned in the form you prefer. This is what the Buddha called right effort, wholehearted engagement, without the suffering that comes from clinging to results. When you detach from outcomes, something unexpected often happens. You stop living in perpetual assessment of whether things are going right or wrong, and you start simply experiencing what is. Paradoxically, this often brings better outcomes than all your controlling ever did, because you're no longer narrowing possibilities to match your limited vision. Life becomes more spacious, disappointment loses its sting, and you discover that peace was never dependent on things going your way. It was always available right here, in the midst of whatever is actually happening. 5. The practice of emotional non-attachment. There's a Buddhist teaching about the second arrow. When something painful happens, the first arrow we naturally feel hurt. But then we shoot ourselves with a second arrow. Our resistance to the pain, our stories about what it means, our catastrophizing. This second arrow causes the most suffering, and it's entirely optional. At 70 or 75, you've felt plenty of first arrows. But how many times have you multiplied that pain tenfold, with stories that you're unlovable because someone didn't call, that your life is over because your body doesn't work as it used to? Emotional non-attachment doesn't mean not feeling. The Buddha was clear. Awakening doesn't require becoming numb. What it requires is changing your relationship to emotions. Instead of identifying with them or being controlled by them, you learn to hold them with spacious awareness. Emotions are weather. Sadness comes like rain, anger like a thunderstorm, joy like sunshine, anxiety like fog. None of it is permanent. None of it is you. Buddhist practice teaches you to experience emotions fully without believing they define you or will last forever. I spoke with Dorothy, 79, who'd recently lost her husband of 53 years. "Everyone keeps telling me I should move on," she said, "but I'm not ready to stop missing him." When she understood that grief itself isn't suffering, the resistance to grief is her whole body softened. You can just be sad without making it mean you're doing something wrong. Here's a simple practice. When a strong emotion arises, pause. Name it silently. This is anger. This is sadness. Just naming it creates a tiny gap, a moment of perspective. Then notice where you feel it in your body. Stay with the physical sensation without the story. Most difficult emotions pass in a few minutes if we don't feed them with narrative. When you practice emotional non-attachment, you develop what Buddhists call equanimity, a balanced heart that can hold both joy and sorrow without being thrown off center. You can listen to someone's pain without needing to fix it or being overwhelmed by it. You can receive criticism without collapsing. You can love without the desperate clinging that comes from fear of loss. 6. Relationships without clinging. One of the most beautiful paradoxes of Buddhist teaching is this. Detachment in relationships doesn't mean caring less. It means loving more skillfully. When you stop clinging to people, stop needing them to complete you, validate you, or behave in ways that soothe your anxiety, you create space for genuine connection. You can finally meet them as they actually are, not as projections of your needs. The Buddha spoke about Kalyana Mitta, spiritual friendship, as essential to the path, but he was clear about its nature. Noble friendship isn't based on dependency, neediness, or using each other to avoid facing ourselves. It's based on mutual support, in truth-seeking, in growth, in walking the path of awakening together. Such friendship can be tender and intimate, but it isn't possessive. Think about the relationships in your life right now. How many of them are colored by fear, fear of abandonment, fear of judgment, fear that if someone really saw you, they'd leave? This fear creates a kind of desperate holding on that masquerades as love, but is actually a form of suffering. You stay in relationships that drain you because you're afraid of being alone. You tolerate disrespect because you need someone to need you. You sacrifice your truth to maintain connection, and underneath it all is the belief that your well-being depends on these external relationships. There's a traditional Buddhist story about a student asking a teacher, How can I practice non-attachment in my marriage? I love my spouse deeply. The teacher smiled and said, love them as the sunrise. You don't possess the sunrise. You don't fear losing the sunrise because it will return tomorrow. You simply witness its beauty fully, knowing it arises and passes according to natural law. Can you love your spouse this way completely, but without grasping? Detachment in relationships means you stop trying to possess people or make them responsible for your emotional state. You stop demanding that they think of you first, call you back immediately, understand you without explanation, or remain forever unchanged. You release them from the burden of completing you or proving your worth. And in that release, something miraculous can happen. Real intimacy becomes possible. I knew a couple, Thomas and Marie, both in their late 70s, who'd been married 54 years. They'd been through everything: financial crisis, health scares, the death of a child. When I asked Thomas what had sustained their marriage, he said something surprising. We stopped trying to save each other. He explained that for decades, each had looked to the other to fill their emptiness, fix their sadness, provide constant reassurance. It nearly destroyed them. Then, separately, they each discovered meditation and Buddhist teachings. They learned to take responsibility for their own inner states. They stopped demanding that marriage solve their existential loneliness. And then, Thomas said, we could finally just enjoy each other's company. We could be two whole people choosing to walk together, instead of two broken people leaning on each other and constantly disappointed when the other couldn't hold them up. Practicing relational detachment doesn't mean you don't have preferences or needs. You can still say, I'd love to hear from you more often, or I need honesty in this relationship, but you hold these preferences lightly. You express them without making the other person wrong for not meeting them. You state your boundaries clearly while accepting that the other person gets to decide how they respond. And if a relationship consistently doesn't nourish you, you can release it with sadness but without bitterness. The Buddha taught metta, loving kindness, not just as a warm feeling, but as a practice. You can extend metta to everyone, including people you're detaching from. You can wish them well, hope for their happiness, and still choose not to have them actively in your life if the relationship brings suffering to you or to them. This isn't coldness, it's clarity. It's honoring that love and proximity are not the same thing, and sometimes the most loving act is creating distance. Here's what becomes possible when you practice detachment in relationships. You stop keeping score. You stop rehearsing hurt. You stop needing to be right or understood or appreciated in exactly the ways you prefer. You can give freely without resentment because you're not giving to get something back. You can receive appreciation without inflating, or gifts without feeling indebted. You become a person who loves not from neediness, but from fullness, and that makes all the difference. 7. What detachment reveals about others. When you finally stop clinging to people, stop trying to control them, something happens. Suddenly, you can see clearly. It's like fog lifting, and what you see isn't always comfortable, but it's true. When you're attached, you're constantly making excuses. You explain away the friend who only calls when she needs something. You rationalize why your son never remembers your birthday. You tell yourself your partner would be more affectionate if only they weren't so stressed. Attachment clouds your vision with hope, with need, with desperate belief that if you just love harder, things will change. But the Buddha taught that clear-seeing vipassana is essential to liberation. When you practice detachment, you begin to notice patterns. You notice who shows up and who makes excuses, who respects your boundaries and who pushes against them, who celebrates your growth and who seems threatened by it. I remember Eleanor, who'd spent 15 years in a friendship that left her exhausted. She was always the one reaching out, always accommodating. When she stopped initiating contact for a few weeks, the phone never rang. That silence told her what years of excuses had obscured. This friendship had become one-sided. The clarity hurt, but it freed her to invest energy in relationships that actually nourished her. Detachment reveals not just who others are, but who you've been: the rescuer, the pleaser, the one who never asks for too much. When you stop performing these roles, you discover whether the relationship can survive without them. Sometimes it can't. And that's important information. The Buddha taught that ignorance, not seeing clearly, is one of the 3 poisons perpetuating suffering. When attachment clouds your vision, you remain trapped in cycles that don't serve you. But when you observe with clear eyes and an open heart, truth emerges. And truth, however uncomfortable, is always more liberating than comfortable lies. 8. Letting go of the past. If you live to 70 or 80, you accumulate a lot of history. And somewhere along the way, many of us become more occupied with what happened than with what is happening now. We live in a museum of our own past, walking the same halls, looking at the same exhibits, never quite free to step outside. The Buddha was clear. Clinging to the past is a major source of suffering. What happened is gone. The person you were is gone. Yet we carry the past like a heavy pack, convinced we must keep reviewing it before we can move forward. I sat with a man named Robert, who'd been estranged from his sister for 23 years, following a dispute over their parents' estate. He was now 76. When asked if he wanted reconciliation, Robert said, "I want her to admit she was wrong first." I gently asked, "And if she never does, will you carry this the rest of your days?" The Buddha would call this the hot coal teaching. Holding on to resentment is like grasping a burning coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You're the one getting burned. Buddhist practice offers a radical approach. Acknowledge it happened, learn whatever wisdom it offers, then let it go. You're not pretending bad things didn't occur. You're recognizing that continuing to live in that old injury keeps you trapped in suffering that no longer has to exist. There's forgiveness meditation in Buddhism. You're not forgiving because the person deserves it. You're forgiving because carrying hatred is exhausting and it only punishes you. You might silently repeat, "I forgive you not because you earned it, but because I choose freedom." The same applies to self-forgiveness, which is often harder. The Buddha welcomed murderers and outcasts into his community, teaching that transformation is always possible. If even Angulimala, who killed many people, could find peace, what makes you believe your regrets are unforgivable? The Buddha said, "Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." The present is the only place where you actually have power. You cannot change the past, but you can change your relationship to it. You can choose, today, to set down what you've been carrying. What would shift if you treated the past like that Buddhist story of the monks and the woman at the river? The monk carried her across and put her down. The other monk carried her for hours in his mind. Which monk are you? What are you still carrying that was meant to be set down long ago? What would it feel like to finally put it down and walk on lighter? 9. When you stop explaining yourself. Have you noticed how much energy you spend explaining, justifying your choices, defending your decisions, making sure everyone understands why you did what you did? You rehearse explanations before conversations. You offer reasons for simple no responses. And underneath all this is a quiet belief. If they just understood, they'd approve. This compulsion to explain is attachment to being understood, to being approved of, and it hands others tremendous power. When you need someone to understand and approve of your every choice, you've made their judgment essential to your sense of being okay. The Buddha taught about right speech, speaking truthfully, helpfully, at the right time. But he never taught that we must explain ourselves endlessly. People who respect you don't require detailed explanations for your boundaries. And people who don't respect you won't be satisfied no matter how perfectly you explain. I knew James, 71, who spent decades over-explaining himself to his critical brother. Every choice where he lived, how he spent money, his brother criticized. And James, desperate for approval, would explain and defend until exhausted. The explanations never worked. Then James attended a Buddhist retreat. When his brother next criticized his decision to sell the family home, James simply said, "I've decided what's best for me." When his brother pressed for explanations, James repeated calmly, "I'm at peace with my choice." He didn't argue, didn't defend. The dynamic shifted, because James had stopped participating in the old pattern. This is the power of detachment from others' understanding. You state your truth clearly, then release any attachment to whether they agree. You recognize that some people will misinterpret you, no matter how carefully you explain. Their response doesn't determine your worth. When you over-explain, what are you really saying? I need you to validate my choice before I can feel okay about it. This isn't communication, it's supplication. What would it look like to simply state what's true for you and let that be enough? I've decided not to host this year. That doesn't work for me. Full stop. No lengthy explanation. People who care about you will accept your boundaries even without fully understanding your reasons. People who respect you will trust that you know what's best for your life. And people who don't, no amount of explaining will satisfy them anyway. 10. Freedom in the present moment. Everything we've explored, releasing control, detaching from outcomes, practicing emotional steadiness, loving without clinging, letting go of the past, all of it leads to one essential place, here, now. This breath, this moment, because this moment is the only place where peace exists, not in fixing yesterday or controlling tomorrow, but in showing up fully for what is. The Buddha's teaching on mindfulness, which has become popular in modern culture, is often misunderstood as just a relaxation technique. But it's actually much more radical than that. Mindfulness is the practice of waking up to your life as it's actually happening, not as you wish it were or fear it might become. It's the antidote to the constant mental time travel that keeps you from inhabiting your own experience. Think about how you typically move through a day. How much of it are you actually present for? When you eat, are you tasting your food or thinking about what comes next? When someone speaks, are you listening or planning your response? When you walk, are you feeling your feet on the ground or lost in worry or nostalgia? Most of us spend the majority of our lives anywhere but here, and then we wonder why we feel empty and disconnected. Buddhist practice teaches that presence is not a luxury or a special state you achieve through years of meditation. It's available right now. This moment, no matter how ordinary, contains everything you need for peace. Not the next moment, not a better moment, not a different circumstance. This one, just as it is. There's a practice you might try. Pause several times today and simply notice. Notice the sensation of breathing. Notice sounds around you. Notice what you can see, smell, touch. Notice any emotions present without judging them. Just notice. This simple act, this return to direct experience rather than thoughts about experience, is itself freedom. It's stepping out of the prison of your own mind and into the vastness of simply being alive. The Buddha taught that much of our suffering comes from living in a state of tanha, endless craving for things to be different. We crave pleasant experiences to continue, unpleasant ones to stop, and we fill our minds with anxiety about maintaining control. But when you're truly present, craving loses its grip. You're not reaching for the next thing or pushing away this thing. You're just here, aware, open. And in that openness, something shifts. The present moment, which you've been avoiding or rushing through, reveals itself as already sufficient. This doesn't mean your problems disappear. Your knees still ache. The phone still doesn't ring as often as you'd like. The past still happened, but your relationship to all of it changes. You're no longer at war with reality. You're in relationship with it. And that relationship, that capacity to be with what is, becomes your refuge. As the Buddha said, be a lamp unto yourself. Your own present moment awareness becomes the light that guides you through whatever comes. So, here is the invitation as we draw this reflection to a close. What if freedom isn't something you have to earn or achieve or control your way into? What if it's simply what remains when you stop clinging? When you release the people you cannot change, the outcomes you cannot control, the past you cannot undo, the emotions you've been fighting, the stories that keep you small, what remains? Space, presence, the ability to breathe fully, a heart that can hold both joy and sorrow without shattering, the courage to show up for your life exactly as it is, not as you thought it should be. This is detachment, not coldness, but clarity, not giving up, but letting go, not being controlled by circumstances, but responding with wisdom to whatever arises. And perhaps most importantly, the peace that comes from finally understanding that you are not what happens to you. You are the awareness that witnesses what happens. Thoughts come and go, emotions rise and fall, people enter and leave, circumstances change constantly. But underneath all of it, there's a steady presence, call it consciousness, awareness, your Buddha nature that remains untouched by the changing weather of life. This is what the Buddha discovered under the Bodhi tree and spent the rest of his life teaching. You don't have to control everything to be free. You just have to stop letting everything control you. And the way you do that is through detachment, through learning to hold life lightly, love wisely, and release gracefully what was never yours to keep. The path is simple, though not always easy. Each moment offers a choice. Will you grip or will you release? Will you demand or will you accept? Will you hand your peace over to circumstances or will you discover it was always yours to keep? The practice is there whenever you're ready, not someday, not when things are finally perfect. Now, right now, in this breath, in this choice to let go and come home to yourself. If this teaching speaks to something in you, I invite you to begin where you are. Perhaps there's one thing you're ready to release, one person you've been trying to control, one outcome you've been desperately clinging to, one piece of the past you're willing to set down. Start there. Start small. Start now. Because the freedom you've been seeking doesn't require you to change everything at once. It requires only that you be willing to loosen your grip, one finger at a time, until your hands are finally open enough to receive what's been waiting all along. Peace, presence, and the quiet joy of a life lived from the inside out. May you know the freedom that comes from letting go. May you experience the lightness of releasing what was never yours to carry. And may you discover that in the spaciousness of non-attachment, there's more than enough room for real love, real presence, and real peace to finally find their home in you.